Hey, Cody, guess what?
What?
I am on summer break. School is out for summer, and I actually am not sleep deprived this podcast. Damn. Which I think is the first time that's ever happened.
I'm very proud of you, and I would be more proud of you, but as you have previously stated, it doesn't seem like a very long break, and I just want you to revel in it, is all I'm saying. I want you to just literally take 2 weeks and just turn into a cocoon and just never see the sun ever again.
Yeah, finals week, listening back to last week's podcast and going through this week was a very wild adventure for me. I personally felt like I was the one underwater, but I think that you also expressed that emotion as well, so I'm glad that
just threw my microphone, who apparently was just not playing games that day.
Oh man, it felt like a really good preview for what we were going to be discussing this week, really. It's almost like you knew.
Yeah.
So I have a few things that we need to discuss right off the bat here. So you know those bugs that take your blood? What are they called?
Mosquitoes?
Okay. So I agree.
What the fuck? Allie, what the fuck?
I'm getting to something.
What is this setup?
So I also agree that they are called mosquitoes because hi.
Because yes, hello.
However, I heard that word said this week not as mosquitoes, but as mosquitos. And I need this to be discussed immediately. Because, see, it was not done by some random motherfucker. It was done by Griffin, and I need to debrief about this.
Okay, no,
mosquitoes?
I have something to confess here.
Cody, I don't know what you're about to say, but I don't like it.
I've definitely, a goof, said mosquito. Listen.
Don't fake my culture, Cody.
No. I don't like to say comedian because I'm not funny, but as a person who likes comedy and saying very silly things, I like language and I think words are funny, especially words like mosquito, which are spelled in the most roundabout ass backwards way.
It fits them.
And just, there's so much fun to mosquito.
When I heard that this week, I nearly had to pull my car over and take a breather because one, I spit water out, onto my steering wheel because God forbid. And second of all, I have never heard that in my entire life. What are you talking about, mosquitoes? What?
Listen, when there's a U, U's are weird letters, and they change how you say words sometimes.
I agree.
I'm not going to justify this lifestyle.
Please don't, because I don't approve of it. I just find that it's very funny to me.
It's all fun and games.
It's all fun and games until you make me spit out water while I'm driving. Okay. The reason that I brought this up, aside from the fact that it has been haunting me for nearly a week now.
Sure.
But speaking of things that suck blood, I recently found and sent to you some information regarding a private social media account that Kristen Stewart has. And I think that it needs to be addressed here.
It's very important. I don't even know, are we talking about this comment specifically? Because that's a whole basket of worms.
So we're talking about the fact that Kristen Stewart has a private Instagram account and that she responded to a hater this week.
So, during this recording, I have requested to follow Kristen Stewart's
I'm so proud
account,
of you.
which I will not say.
Okay.
So, if I get any updates during this recording.
Okay. But if we don't talk about this username, we have to quit this podcast. Because...
What do you mean?
What do you mean? If that's not a Twilight reference, then what the fuck is it?
I mean... Whatever.
Step to it, Cody. That's a Twilight reference.
Anyway.
I'm just saying, it's not that hard to figure out what Kristen Stewart's private Instagram is. And if you find it, it's definitely a Twilight reference.
So, like, she has, like, over 1,000 posts, which I'm in love with.
Yes.
I just want to see them, is it? But this comment is like...
Would you do me the personal honor by reading this comment?
Yeah. Oh, I would love... Here, let me just... let's go.
Make this your fanfiction corner. And instead, it's people daring to try and hate on Kristen Stewart and her respond with love and adoration.
It's a lot. So this is from the user ChrisStop5127 on Instagram. Yeah. So, you know, feel free to do whatever you will. There's no image, no, like, it's just like the default Instagram, whatever.
Shadow
anyway,
of a man.
Honestly, so they said, Robert Pattinson mentioned Kristen's name today, and Kristen's fandom blew up. Kristen looks odd and disgusting with Stella, with, like, mind you, like, all caps, no punctuation, like, barely any spaces. Where is @suck_upon, which is Kristen's Instagram, whatever, family. Her mom doesn't even wish her a happy birthday on Twitter anymore. Kristen is at nearly 250 on IMDb, not IMDb. Meanwhile, Emma Watson is at 6.
Oh my god.
Kristen, in all caps, is a loser and needs to concentrate on her work, not some fling who puts her vag in Kristen's face. Most of Kristen's fans have a vag. It is gross. Kristen wants that over a dick, especially the dick of Robert Pattinson. Why does Kristen, in all caps, want something she already has between her legs? It is just weird after she pretended to be straight for 8 years.
So we could do a whole episode on unpacking.
There's so much to unpack.
There's a lot there.
Oh, God.
Holy shit. And then Kristen responded to this Instagram comment. Please go on, Cody.
Just saying, love you too, honey.
Like, oh my god.
So good. I just, like, I'm so very confused.
What is it?
I don't know how Emma Watson was even involved in this conversation.
I don't know.
And suddenly she was there.
I don't know either. Everything about it is confusing to me.
It's hard for me, as someone who is not in any of this world, by choice.
There you go.
To think that in 2017, people still, like, fangirl over Robert Pattinson? You know what I mean?
I mean, fair.
Like, even now, I mean, because, like, I don't know, Harry Styles is being himself and living his goddamn truth, and so people are kind of, like, going back to that One Direction
How dare you say his name?
Of thing. I'm sorry, is that a curse name?
No, you just didn't say it with enough reverence.
Whatever. Anyway, so now, with that being back into popular culture, people are like, I'm back into One Direction and all that stuff. And, like, I get it. That happens with pop culture.
Or they never left, you know.
But, like, or, you know, that's fine. Also a thing that I have zero knowledge of whatsoever, so don't really have a lot to say on that. No. No. What? One Direction podcast. That's where I draw the line, Allie.
Oh my god. Cody, don't joke about that. That's all I've ever wanted.
But, like, to think that people still would obsess over Robert Pattinson in the same way that they would someone in One Direction is and be so possessive over, like, him and also, like, the relationship that he had with this woman years ago and haven't been with for years. It's very strange to me.
It's wild, for sure. That's a lot of passion for such a hateful comment.
Yeah.
That is gross in so many different ways.
Yes.
And
yes.
The audacity to actually tag her in it, too.
Literally, no shame. No shame.
That is amazing to me. And
also to bring, like, her mom into it, like, her mom doesn't even wish her a happy birthday. And Emma, like, Twitter.
What the fuck? It's,
there's so much.
Yeah. It's amazing. And I'm thankful that Kristen responded with kindness. even though I would have enjoyed, annoyance just as much, but I did think that it was worth noting in our little Kristen corner.
Oh my god.
Hey, I mean, it's part of this podcast. So,
yeah.
I am so thrilled to be able to chat with you about chapters 15 and 16 this week.
Boy, honestly, so am I.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, not like that excited, but like
I'm so thrilled.
Let's not sell it that much.
We are no longer in filler mode, friends.
Fucking finally, guys.
We've finally hit the point.
It's fucking 300 pages, at least. Way more than.
But no more filler. It is all game, no shame. The rest of this book.
Sure, yes.
So chapter 15, titled Pressure, is
great.
A lot to handle just immediately. Because, of course, y'all, it's spring break in Forks. What up? And that means for everybody except for Bella that it's a great time. And a carefree time, you would say. But for Bells, of course, it means yet another bad boy encounter. So, yay. More trauma, especially just overlapping on the times of year. It's really good for her health.
Love it.
I love that that's how this chapter starts out, too. Like,
right.
It's literally mentioned that is her first thought, waking up. It's like, wow, I live a really fucked up life, don't I?
Not a second goes by where I don't think how fucked up this situation is. And how I, as a human being, cannot process any of it. Emotionally, physically, spiritually.
In addition to her not being able to process that, too, she's also not really processing the fact that everybody in Jacob's close life is calling her his girlfriend. And she's just like, oh, that's, like, weird, right? Like, whoa.
It's so ridiculous, because it's, so clear that they don't understand their relationship at all, but they think that they do more than anyone else. And so, she's always like, oh, well, Jake, everyone keeps calling Jake my boyfriend, I'm his girlfriend and all that stuff, but, as long as we both know how we really feel and what a relationship really is, we're fine. And, I'm sorry, I don't remember y'all ever being on the same page about any of this, ever. I don't know if this happened in chapters that were not in this book, but y'all are not on the same page, and you have never been, ever. It's so silly. They clearly want different things.
Absolutely.
But Bella's like, yeah, we're on the same page. We don't need to, talk about anything.
Yeah, this is just, our unspoken friendship.
Yeah, we know.
We get it.
We know. He knows, and I know. And it's, the same thing,
When Jake literally has the heart eyes emoji for her all the time.
Literally.
It's just... And Bella's like, oh, yeah, no, we're just, buddies. It's great.
We get to see, fuck Mike
Newton. Okay. Y'all, listen. Here's the thing.
I was gonna do an easy transition, but okay.
I've been telling all of you to fuck Mike Newton. And not, literally. But, just fuck it.
Because he doesn't deserve that.
No, absolutely not. Just, fuck Mike Newton. And we get it here in this part.
Yeah. I'm gonna get into that, but we do get Bella being ridiculous.
I mean, true.
Also about her relationship with Jacob, because he says, because he's obviously wanting to know everything about Bella's love life because he can't catch a hint.
No, obviously not.
And is like, are you dating that kid from La Push? And then she goes, not in the technical sense of the word, which, bitch, I can't believe. It's they only speak in nonsensicals and vague terms and act like it's the most concrete establishment of a relationship. Yep. And as if they're on the same page, which they're clearly not. And as if they all understand what's going on without talking about it, without having communication. And, that's not good communication. No. And it's not good relationships. And it's just misleading to literally everyone involved. And it's very frustrating.
Well, and you can tell that she does not have effective... bricks to lay upon for her emotional relationships.
Absolutely.
And even romantic relationships, because she's like, well, I mean, we're, not technically dating, but we're basically dating because he's my best friend. And it's like, wait, what? Those are
You said, like, 7 different things there. Like, those are all different. What do you
Half
mean?
of that sentence was in Pig Latin, Bella. What are you saying? I don't understand.
It keeps reinforcing the fact that she feels like all the men in her life have to be romantically involved with her. And, like, you can't just have a super strong relationship and platonic relationship and friendship with somebody without having to be, like, a serious romantic relationship or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's like, yeah, we're not, like, technically dating, but, like, he's my best friend, so, like, that's, like, close enough. And I'm like, no, those are, like, we have those things, we have those words for reasons, and they mean things. Yeah. You can't just forget that.
Well, and it's sad that she can't just say, he's my best friend, and that be enough for her. And enough for him, because that's what she feels.
Yeah.
But no. She has to be like, I mean, that means we're, like, basically dating, so... No,
so,
Bella.
Like, no. You can just have friends. God, you deserve friends.
Bella deserves friends. 2K16. Wait, what year is
Bella,
it? It's
goddamn
2K17. Where am I? Just kidding. I've been time traveling during my summer break.
Welcome to the Time Traveling Podcast.
Oh my god. Can you get to the part of this where Fuck Mike Newton actually comes into play? Thank you.
Oh, I mean... okay, you've been sitting on that one. I mean, he's just gross, right? Like, we all know this. This isn't new information. Because at first he starts with, like, are you dating that... Like, because Jacob's in the store or whatever, and he leaves, and then...
No preamble.
Mike is like, are you dating this kid? Like, the sophomore? Like, what's up with that? Because, like, homie... It has nothing to do with you, and for very good reasons, and for very intentional reasons.
Well, and
so, like,
especially because the last memory that he has of Jacob was when they were in the car together after the movie, and Mike couldn't stop yartzing, and Jacob was like, can you just fucking not in my car? And he has the audacity to speak down to Jacob, as if he wasn't the one puking in his car.
Right, but to be fair, we talked about that and Jacob was being very much a piss baby.
I mean, he's always a piss baby.
Really annoying and rude. And just being like, oh, you gotta be like a real man who, who can take all the blood and the gore and stuff and won't just vomit, blah, and just like peak toxic masculinity. Yes. So, like, I get it.
Yes.
They're not justifiable for his feelings because those go a long ways past that. But, like, he's very much just, like, not on the right side of things with Jacob, especially if he's in, like, pursuing a romantic relationship with Bella, that he gets all, like, territorial, which is creepy because, she's not yours to be territorial for.
Exactly.
But, live your truth.
The thing that I don't understand about this, and there's a lot of things I don't understand about this, but Bella deciding to say, like, life is complicated, which, like, I mean, Bella gets it, right?
And the understatement of the fucking century. Bella's
what she forgot to put there was my beforehand, so it was like, my life was complicated. But then Mike has the audacity to respond, under his breath, of course, and girls are cruel. I'm sorry. What? Fuck off.
Nasty boy.
I
love, like, entitlement and, like, men thinking that women owe them something, including, like, romantic feelings for them.
Nothing.
That's what I love, especially in, novels targeted towards young adults, primarily young women. Like, that's really what I like.
Nothing would bring me more joy than looking Mike Newton straight in the face and telling him that he's a piece of shit. And just trying to bring his ego down more. My only concern with doing that, though, is that he might go on a rampage and, like, kill people. Or me,
Sure. Yeah. Or try to ask you out to the Sadie Hawkins
Yeah, or
dance,
take it as a compliment. Like, I'm flirting.
Yeah. He would totally be like, wow, she's, like, totally into me.
Yeah. She's, like, playing that hard game, right? That long pull.
Yeah, I see.
I hate everything about this.
God, wait, can we just, like, fucking take a second to talk about how shitty that is? Because, like, the whole notion of, like, playing hard to get is literally just, like, it warps young boys' mentality to think that women saying no or they're not interested means, like, oh, okay, I'll just keep working this one, and then she'll know, and it'll be good. And I'm like, no, you could just, like, take their word for it and their body language and stuff, and you don't have to, like, win them or try to, you know, make it a game or win their heart or whatever.
Well, the frustrating thing...
if they don't feel those ways for
Exactly.
you.
And the frustrating thing is, as a culture, kids are being educated about this from very early. That, like, boys pinching girls or, like, pushing them down and stuff, like, on the playground is not just them being an asshole.
That means they like you.
Yeah, it's like, oh, no.
It's like, wait, no, absolutely not.
I think very much by the definition of someone, like, pushing you down into the ground means that they do not like you, is the thing.
I think that's exactly what that means,
What that means is that they don't know how to effectively express their emotions and instead are using violence. And we're teaching kids that this is okay from, like, toddler age. What the fuck? I hate it. I hate it so much. And the thing is that this next part with Jake and Bella talking, it has these same dynamics in it, too. Because he's basically like, hey, Bells, look, I'm going to slit my hand open. Isn't this cool? And she's like, hey, fuck off, first of all. I don't want any of that. We could just talk.
That's really interesting, because when I was reading this, I had... like, similar, but in different ways, like, opinions towards the scene. So, like, they're talking, and then he's doing all this, like, fuck shit. And basically being like, wow, I'm, like, invincible. I can, like, do all this stuff. And, like, I have all these weird emotions, and they're, like, wild, and I can't control them.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Literally. He just strums a guitar.
He's telling her all of this just while, like, tuning his guitar.
But, like, while I was reading this, and it may just be me, but, like, I felt the language felt very much like metaphors for either mental illness or something along the lines of, like, mood swings and BPD. Like, that seemed very close to home to what he was, like, articulating with his language.
I love that. Tell me more.
Because he kept saying, obviously, I've never suffered any of these things, so I can't comment on it like I have experienced them, but in like the socialization of it, like he keeps talking about like not being able to control his emotions. One minute he's like super excited, and the other day he's just like super depressed and super moody, and he doesn't know how to control his own feelings. And then he, you know, results to like violence. He has these like violent tendencies and all this stuff. And then he keeps, like, comparing himself to a monster, and he doesn't want to be, like, a monster. Yeah. He feels like his lack of control of his emotions and lack of control of his physicality and all that stuff, like, makes him a monster. Like, he accepts, and the fact that he, like, is quote-unquote less human than the other wolves because he's, like, able to do these wolf-like things and, like, all this stuff at a much faster rate than any of the others had, and he talks about this, and he thinks that he's worried about that because he's like, does that mean, like, I'm not, you know, as human to start off with than I would have liked? And so it just seems like a lot of parallels to be, like, all of those tendencies and the mood swings and stuff like that.
I personally love that reading of this scene a lot more. I wish that I could say, like, oh yeah, Stephenie Meyer totally wrote that in there. Knowing her, she definitely, that's just an accident. Like,
no, and I mean, I don't think it's a good thing, right? Like, I think she's making comparisons, and they, not intentionally, but, like, they allude to certain opinions about these type of mental illnesses, especially stuff with BPD that's heavily stigmatized in comparison to a lot of other mental illnesses. Yeah, exactly. In a much higher rate, and it's a lot more demonized, especially in pop culture, and especially in just, like, the socialization of mental illnesses. So I think it's really harmful that it reads in the same sort of symptoms.
Yeah, you know? I think that just underscores the fact that this series is not, I don't know, kind to, like,
yeah, absolutely
anyone. Not. And so the fact that this reading is something that is just very obvious, like the idea that he feels like there is something else inside of him, and it's that quick to read and analyze from, I think shows that, again, there are so many folks that went through the reading process of this, and that was not brought up at any point.
Right.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
This conversation, though, is interesting because we do get underscored again about the fact that Jacob has strong bloodlines within the sense of the Quileute pack. So the fact that he had Ephraim Black and Quill Atera on both of his family lineages is a big deal within this. And I can tell, like, Stephenie Meyer's obviously laying the groundwork for this, but because she's mentioned it like 5 times, but it is important to remember. We do get some more information about Quill, which makes me sad. Poor
baby.
Poor Quill Atera. And this whole conversation too, I think is quite interesting because of the fact that Bella actually tells Jake what happened to her hand. And I don't like it.
She, like, spills so much of the vampire beans, and I'm like, homie, did you not learn it? Didn't you just have all this perseverance about, like, not being your secrets to tell and all this stuff, and, like, all of this trauma that you didn't want to talk about? And yet, as soon as he's like, pretty please, and she just, like, immediately just spills everything out. She just becomes a waterfall of emotions.
Literally. Like, the thing is, too, is I don't know how this conversation comes up is the fact that he's looking at her scar and he's like, what is that? Your funny scar. And then he's like, all of a sudden he like gasps and like realizes, it's like, Jake, I mean, obviously it's been always cold. Like, put these pieces together, babe.
Come on, boy. BB,
yes.
Come on.
The whole thing, too, especially because of the fact that Bella was like, I don't want to be a spy. I don't want to tell all these secrets. But instead...
And yet...
the only thing that I can justify for that is because of the fact that it's the same time as it was last year, that she's just, like, feeling a need to share it. And instead of course, having any sort of therapy in her life, she's just like, well, here.
Right. And also because she hasn't had an outlet to talk about these things, right? Who are you going to talk to about vampires, right? And, like, your love affair with vampires and almost getting murdered and all that shit. Like, that's not something you can easily walk up to a therapist. Not that she would, because she clearly has a stigma about that in this novel. But, like, that's not really something you bring up. It's not something that would probably be treated kindly towards you.
Yeah.
But, like, she has no outlet, and I cannot stress it enough, no friends to talk about this with in a normal and healthy way. And so as soon as, like, and especially the times since it's been a year, she's, like, super emotional and all the memories are still there and still very strong. Everything comes out of her.
So this also reminds me of a part later on in their conversation when Jake has the audacity to ask Bella why she copes in the way that she does. In the sense that he sees her wrapping her arms around herself and around her chest, like she always does, because she's mentioned the hole in her chest, like that's a thing. And if instead of just being like, yep, okay, this is the Bella that apparently I know doesn't like music and all of these things, he's like, hey, so why do you like do that? Like that thing when you're upset? Like why? I'm sorry.
Let's talk about body language 101.
And also, just like, in what world would it be acceptable? Like, what answer are you expecting here, Jacob?
Yeah, what would you be happy with? What answer would you like to hear, Jacob?
Just tell me what you want to know, and I'll do that.
See, you know, I do this, right? I wrap my arms around my stomach and, like, keel over because I really want to fuck you, Jacob, you know? I just really want to, just want you to dig me down. And it's not just, like, literally a year's worth of trauma and sickness and me feeling literally sick to my stomach because of all this emotional trauma that I've been through my entire life. No, I just want that good dig. No, that's what
instead, it is my good Christian self trying to literally hold my hormones back and try to repress them inside, Jacob. What the fuck do you want to hear from this? You pencil dick piss baby? Like, I don't understand. I don't get it.
Oh my god.
I
want that tattooed all over my body.
I'm never gonna get over that fanfic. It's gonna be scarred in me for the rest of my life.
Oh god. It's just the combination of the two. Oh, it's
It's, how do I say mosquito? Like, I hate everything. Anybody who says mosquito. That,
I'm only saying mosquito from now on.
Then you can step out of my life. I hate that. I hate that so much.
Noted. Done. Adios.
Oh my god. This conversation that Bella and Jacob have ends with them coming to the conclusion that they are a, quote, messed up pair.
Haven't I heard... Doesn't this sound familiar to you? Is this ringing any bells to any of you?
The one sentence that he says, though, that I did think was kind of interesting writing from Stephanie, though, was when Jake says that neither one of them can hold their shape together, right? And I thought that that was an interesting kind of summation of what Jacob is going through and what Bella is going through. So that's great.
Which is why it'd be nice if they were friends, because they can or at least functioning in a relationship where they're not literally dependent on each other for everything, and them being together is them being one whole person, which I think Bella talks about a little bit later, and it's very gross, and she has this mentality that she's not a whole human being unless she's with someone else.
Jake, of course, has stuff to do because he is a wolf and needs to do things.
Wolf boy,
with his wolf brothers, and that leaves Bella alone, which, if you haven't been able to surmise from the other 22 podcasts, Bella being alone is not great.
It's never good.
It's not good.
Never good. She needs to be on constant watch.
Yes. Especially because of everything that's gone and happened and stuff. But what ends up happening is she's wandering through the beach alone. And because of the fact that she's realized, like, oh shit, I'm alone. Oh god, I'm alone. She ends up, like, curled up in a ball on the beach. And that's how Jake finds her. And his response is that he has to apologize for leaving her alone. And something about that makes me feel gross. I just don't like it.
Well, doesn't it remind you of when fucking Edward...
Who is she?
Yeah, sorry, who is that? Not the push, but the other one. The other place that they go to. There's only two towns.
Well, there's Forks and there's Port Angeles.
Port Angeles, there it is. So when Edward, like, literally hunts her down in Port Angeles and then, like, quote-unquote rescues her from a bunch of bad boys, and then basically makes her apologize to him.
Yeah.
Or at least she feels the need to apologize to him. So, like, a lot of really healthy relationships going on here, boys. Just, like, a lot of really good quality relationships.
I just don't like it. Of course, since he has to apologize, he feels this need to make things better, and they decide to go cliff diving the next day. Which, sure, Jake, I don't know why you felt the need to continue that promise that you made.
Could it be possibly to further the plot and use something you talked about earlier in the novel? Sure. And finally just jam it in?
The one thing about this, though, that I do feel like is worth mentioning is that Jake lets Bella know that it won't be as cold as it is today. And he asks her if she can feel the weather changing. And the pressure. And here's a thought. Jake, as a meteorologist.
I love it.
I need it. I also love it.
He just, like, he does the thing where he, like, licks his finger and he's like, yes, I know all of it that's happening. 7 days,
he's
done.
Like,
I know it in my brain.
Going on a monologue about motorcycles, and all of a sudden he's like, ooh, my bones are tingling. I think the pressure is changing. I think it's gonna rain tomorrow. And it's like, what the fuck?
It's gonna be high tide. What? I guess.
The moon is here. So it's the next day, and Bella is trying to pack because she knows that they're going to go cliff diving. I need to discuss this sentence that she says. Quote, maybe it would be fun. A date with Jacob, a date with Edward. I laughed darkly to myself. Jake could say what he wanted about us being a messed up pair. I was the one who was truly messed up.
Oh my god. I love the idea that Bella is just playing everyone, you know, just like getting the dick from everyone. Just literally having like basically a rotation of dudes in her phone just being like, yeah, what's tonight? Is it going to be fucking puppy dog, or is it going to be, actual prolonged trauma? Who can be sure? And then just, great fuck buddy rotation going on. But I do like that fact.
So, Cody, I want you to remember the past minute of you talking, and this headcanon that you have of Bella when we get to Eclipse.
Okay.
Because you do not know how close you are.
Swish.
Did I mean Kobe?
Okay, wait, hold the fuck up. Because one of my classmates, I say Kobe a lot because I'm the worst person you've ever met.
Tell me something I don't know.
Sorry. And one of my classmates said, have you ever said, Cody, but in the same way you'd say Kobe, and my entire world just flipped upside down.
We need to pause this podcast. We need to change your branding right now.
I need to erase everything. Everything I've done before is meaningless. This is my life.
Every time that I snap you now, I'm gonna be like, Cody! I love it. I love that a lot.
Listen, I'm a sportsman at heart.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
B-ball till I die.
I was born in Air Jordans. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. I hate this.
Me too.
Oh, fuck. So, bells, right? Cliff diving. Great.
My sweet angel.
Bella, my bitch, my love. So she goes to the Black House, of course. And guess who can't go cliff diving? Because it's not Bella. Bella's ready. It's Jake.
Bella's never been more ready for anything. Her entire life.
Yes. Jake definitely cannot do this. And Bella gets pissed and is like, fuck this, fuck you, fuck everybody. I gotta go to the beach.
I can do this by myself. Fuck you.
Yep. I think that
how hard it could be to just jump off a fucking cliff. I can do that.
Well, and that's the thing. So she gets to the beach, right? And she's like, well, this isn't good. I mean, I've been wanting to go cliff diving, so why don't I just do it by myself? Okay. God. So.
Hey, ma'am.
Hey, first of all, absolutely not. So.
Shut it down.
Bella says, quote, I knew that this was the stupidest, most reckless thing I had done yet. The thought made me smile. So. This is
great.
So Bella gets ready to go cliff diving, and she's very much there. And as soon as she hears Edward's voice, she is happy. But of course, she still needs to cliff dive just to prove to herself that she is that Ocean's 8 motherfucker. And my favorite thing, and I definitely included in our notes too, is the sentence of, quote, and I flung myself off the cliff. Because
literally,
I'm sorry? What?
The paragraph, the sentence before that ends with an ellipses, because obviously. And then, and indented, and I flung myself off the cliff.
This is a children's novel. Also, we had to read the next sentence of, I screamed as I dropped through the open air like a meteor. No, I did not want to read this, Stephanie. Thank you very much.
No. But,
so she fucking dives into the ocean, I guess.
Fucking Free Willy, motherfucker.
Yes.
Living her truth.
A few fun facts about this scene. There were 3 separate shots that they used to get this cliff diving scene in the movie, which you don't know about yet, but you will. And
I'll see it.
This part where she is in the water and, struggling because, hi, you're in the ocean, was filmed in a pool. And Kristen Stewart does not like water, so she was having a very hard time with the filming of this.
Oh my god. My sweet angel. I love her more than anything in this world.
She was, in a pool, in the clothes that she's going to be wearing in this scene, and just I hate the water. Yeah, so just keep that in mind, I guess. But yeah, so Bells is in the ocean and just, cannot handle anything because, hi, have you been to the Pacific Ocean before? The struggle with this, though, is the fact that as soon as she gets there, she's like, I can't actually do this. Great. What? What do you mean, Bella?
Like, it's a little late, but come on, girl.
So she's just cannot. The current is just fucking her up. And at the end of this chapter is the fact that the ocean is trying to take her away. And she's just letting it happen.
The sea's just gonna eat her whole.
This is my biggest fear, and I hate having to read it. And the last sentence of this chapter is, goodbye, I love you, was my last thought. So, this is a children's novel.
When I think of healthy relationships and, like, really solid mental health and just, like, really good everything off the bat, that's usually it, what I think of.
The frustrating thing about this, too, is I can't help but remember the epigraph and the fact that this whole book is supposed to be Romeo and Juliet. And here goes our fucking Juliet, just...
There she goes.
There she be, just fucking diving into the water. And...
See, you're talking about the Romeo and Juliet thing, and I was going to make a goof about how the next chapter is called Paris.
You
and,
should.
like, how... Listen, ladies and gents, I know what you're thinking. We're off to Paris for this weird rendezvous trip out of this novel. But no, we're back to this fucking Romeo and Juliet storyline.
Yep.
Because everybody's favorite character for Romeo and Juliet, aka the one you will never remember unless it's brought up in the book Twilight, Paris.
I know. Who the fuck chooses Paris, too? Like, why would you remember Paris? There's Mercutio.
There's so many other...
There's Benvolio.
Literally.
Are you kidding?
Tybalt? Like, so many other bad boys, and that have way more weight and purpose. But yeah, sure, fucking Paris.
Yeah, let's focus on Paris and Romeo.
He has, like, maybe 2 lines, and it's just, like... So silly.
I'm so bored. I'm so bored of focusing on Romeo and Paris. Let's focus on Mercutio and Benvolio. Thank you very much. That's basically going to be my lesson for...
Hear me
I thought you were
out.
going to hear me roar.
Because... I am Katy Perry.
Please.
No. So, we all know Mercutio and Benvolio totally fucking...
Yeah, they're lovers.
Can we headcanon?
Yes.
Our faves.
It's Quill and Ember.
Oh, I like that too. No, that makes more sense.
You mean Carlisle and Charlie?
Our faves, Allie. Come on. I know it's been a long time since we've talked about them because it's been years since we've seen Carlisle or any of our boys. But
I love that.
I do
actually.
Like this.
Hey, so you want to know a really fun goof about Romeo and Juliet really quick?
Please.
So, okay. In my elementary school, we, of course, did Romeo and Juliet. Because who the fuck doesn't? And so I was in 4th grade, when we had to all audition for this. And the role that I got... So I played 2 parts in Romeo and Juliet.
Oh my god.
The first one was at the beginning of the play, when it's like, do you bite your thumb, sir? I was the person who bit their thumb, which means that from a young age, I was cursing at this audience.
Just flipping. That's so good. It was
amazing. And then the second part was I was in a sword fighting scene, so your girl got combat lessons. And that basically means, fuck with me, take me on, and I'll hit you with a foam sword. So.
See, I've never seen youth theater do such a good job at literally paving the way for who you are to be as a person until this very moment.
Those 2 things shaped
off
me.
The whole world.
Yep.
Yeah, and also just like hitting a metaphorical foam sword at everyone who fucks you in the wrong way, you know?
Honestly, mood. Right now.
It's what I'm saying. It's what I'm saying.
Young me was me. So can we talk about chapter 16? Please,
because we are running very long.
Sorry. It's episode 23. What the fuck did you think it was going to be about? This is going to be the best episode. Fuck off, all of you. It's the best number. Okay?
Just imagine a very small alley biting your thumb.
If you're ever wondering, that is my constant mood. Okay, so chapter 16. Bella dies, right? You know, check that off your fucking bingo board. But she's, like, alive, you know. But, I mean, she died.
Also, check that off your bingo board.
Yeah,
also the psych little square.
So here's the thing. I hate this scene.
Great.
And I don't like the fact that Jacob has to, like, bring Bella back from life.
Yeah.
And,
Savior.
Yeah. And that, of course, Stephenie Meyer has it timed out that when Bella decides to cliff dive here in Clearwater, has a heart attack. Which means that 2 very traumatic things just happened to Charlie. 1, he knows about.
Yes.
2, he does not. So,
Great. Poor Charlie, sitting
Remember
at home,
Charlie?
not knowing anything that's happening. Where the fuck is Charlie at this point?
Also, the only important part about this whole scene is Bella describing herself as a chain smoker. Because all I could think about was that fucking band.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, there's that.
And that was basically it. I mean, they go to Jake's house because he's very scared about what's going on with Bella.
Sure. And, you know, everyone sees her as a fragile paper doll that has to be protected at all costs. Which, fair, because she literally puts herself in dangerous situations at all times.
Like, at every possible moment.
At any chance she is literally given. And if she's not given them, she will create them.
I just have so many questions about why she thought that this was acceptable. Anyway, they go to the Black's house. She falls asleep. And while doing so, she's still thinking about Juliet. She's still thinking about Paris.
Well, let's talk about this Paris thing. Because what's important about Paris is that Paris is Jacob in this metaphor.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you didn't get that,
Okay, well, some people are, like, not reading along, and we need to give, like, actual context to what's happening in this novel.
Yeah, so if you weren't aware, Bella is Juliet, and Edward is supposed to be Romeo, and Jacob is Paris. And so she just goes on this long rant.
But then she keeps adding this whole fiction about Paris, which came out of fucking nowhere, because as we've discussed, nobody gives a fuck about Paris, and Paris doesn't have any fucking backstory, and Paris is boring as shit. He's just like this rich dude that the family knows and wants Juliet to be with, and whatever.
She literally describes him in here as a stick figure, a placeholder, a threat, a deadline to force her hand.
Literally.
Like, that's it.
That's all that Shakespeare describes him as, too. So, like, I'm gonna take Billy's word for it. But she keeps adding to this fiction of, like, well, maybe Paris was, like, Juliet's best friend. Yes. And, like, maybe they were super close. Not the same way that Juliet and Romeo were close, but, like, a different kind of close. They had a different kind of relationship. And, you know, being in a relationship with that person would, like, make them happy. And all of these weird parallels that are way too specific to your specific situation, my dude.
Yes.
And also don't make sense to any of the text you're referencing. It's just too much, and I don't like it.
It's all gross, especially because before she gets into the Paris bit, she's like, I wonder what Juliet would have done if Romeo had left her. And not because he was, like, banished, but just because he was, like, bored of her. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, ladies? Like, you know what I mean? And
I mean, not, like, from personal experience, but, like, don't you just think about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so it all gets
like,
a little too real.
What if?
So she just goes on.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yep. So she's just like, you know what? I fucking, like, get Juliet. And, like, she wouldn't have gone back to her old life. And she goes on this whole thing. It's just a lot. And it made me very uncomfortable.
But also she says, like, she wouldn't go back to him, right? But she also says she would never forget him. And she would always have this really, like, emotional and, like, unhealthy, like, favoritism towards this dude. But, like, wouldn't go back to that relationship. So I felt like there's a lot of weird mixed messages. Because clearly she doesn't know what she wants and her feelings and her emotions, because there's a lot to process and she hasn't taken the time to do any of that.
It's important to remember this part, I guess, is the thing. Mm-hmm. The fact that Bella's even thinking about what life would be like without Edward around. But even her idea of doing that is still thinking about him. So that's important to remember. They talk about Charlie a little bit, which was nice because I miss Charlie. And the fact that he's with Sue and they're all trying to take care of Harry and like everything that happened and stuff, which makes me really sad. And then Jacob takes her home, of course, because why would you stay at the Blacks? Here's the thing about them driving there. So Bella keeps thinking about Edward. Then we get this point where Jake and Bella are really close together. And all of a sudden she hears Edward's voice say, "Be happy." And I'm sorry. I personally have the headcanon that this is very much Bella thinking this stuff, right? Like, it's not Edward actually, like, in her head. And so the fact that she's even trying to tell herself, like, just do this. Like, if this is what you're wanting right now, do the damn thing. And she's still like, well, I mean, I don't know.
God.
So it's just fucked up, and I don't like it. Of course, when they try to leave, it turns out that things are not okay. And Jake's wolfy senses kind of hike up, and there's a vampire around. And this is when things finally get interesting, folks. Hell yeah.
Yes.
So
I didn't think I would want to see a vampire, but after 350 fucking pages without one, I'm getting the itch. I'm like, I just want something else. God, I'm sick of this.
So Bella looks around, and there's a black car there by her house. And it's not just any black car. Not a black car that's going to kill her, of course, which I definitely thought of when I was reading this. It's like, oh, yeah, Billy's going to die. No, it is Carlisle's car.
Boy! Boy.
So Belle's like, fuck you, fuck everything, I gotta go. And Jacob gets pissed. And he's like, well, that's obviously Victoria. Like, this is very much a trick. And she's like, no, it's totally fine.
Nah, man.
And
they've never let me down before. Yeah. These guys got my back.
They get into a little tiff, and Jake's last words to her, because she won't listen to him, is just him being a little piss baby again, is like, bye, Bella. I really hope you don't die.
Ugh.
Which is like
the worst, the most patronizing bullshit.
I hate it. I hate everything about that. So she's like, you know what? I'll deal with this later. That's messed up. She goes...
I can burn that bridge when I get there.
She goes to the door, and all of a sudden she's like, oh, that's so weird. I remember when I almost died, like earlier today, that red thing I saw in the ocean, I think that was Victoria. And she's like, you know what? Actually, fuck this. I'll just open the door.
Like, as she's, like, holding the doorknob, she's like, you know what?
And Cody...
I think I saw, like, Cheeto hair in the ocean.
Gosh. And Cody, what is the last line of this chapter?
I blinked to the sunlight and saw that someone was there waiting for me. Bitch, what a twist. A twistery at its finest. Fucking swish.
And that is where chapter 16 ends.
That's it. Hold on to your fucking butts. Gotta wait a whole other week to see how that resolves itself.
Yep. So next week is chapter 17, Visitor, and chapter 18, The Funeral. Dun dun dun.
Boing, boing.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. And I know what happens.
That's how you know it's good.
I'm just so excited.
This is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Earbud Media. If you want to pitch a show to the network, you can do so at bit.ly/earbudpitch. How about you check out one of our sister podcasts like Femme as Fuck or Femme AF, which you can find on Twitter and SoundCloud. And apparently Elvis knows what's up.
That's how I feel about Femme as Fuck. Just me howling into the wind.
Honestly, same. You can find them on Twitter and SoundCloud and anywhere you probably get podcasts at FemAF Podcast. You can follow us and our podcast on Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr and anywhere else you would want to find us at Into the Twilight or Into the Twilight Show. If you want to help support the show, you can do so via our Patreon page. Thank you to our patrons who have already pledged money per month. We are so gracious to you, and if you want to join them, you can do so at patreon.com/intothetwilight. If you cannot, you can rate and review us on iTunes, and if you have not at this time, homie, fake fan,
like what?
Get it together. Just spice up your life, please, God.
Please.
Do it. Please, God.
Help
it takes
me help
2 seconds.
you, honestly.
Literally. And, like, people aren't gonna know that the show exists if you don't rate and review it and share it with your friends. So, like, is that what you want? Do you want to restrict the people from this quality content? I don't think that's what you want. If you want to go the extra mile, you can help fill out a little survey at bit.ly/into-the-survey or click the link in our show notes.
I have thought of some cool ideas for our 2 BBs.
Please go ahead.
Our amazing artwork is done by Maddie Padilla. At this point, if you haven't checked out Maddie's stuff, you're honestly offending me because you haven't taken care of yourself to go enjoy Maddie's work, which you can find on Instagram at yourghosthost44. Please do it to help yourself. Our lovely music is done by shithead Eli Krause, who I adore and does great work. You can find Eli's stuff at krausefilms.com. So please, at this point, like, what are you doing? Please, just go check it out.
Come on. Do it.
Okay, so I was thinking, since we've talked about it so much, this podcast, that we should have Maddie and Eli be characters from Romeo and Juliet.
Great.
So, for Eli, I was thinking, and this was, I had this plan before we talked about it, but I was thinking either Mercutio or Friar Lawrence.
Okay. Yeah.
Or maybe a mixture of both, honestly.
Sure, just a weird hybrid.
Yes. And then, for Maddie, I couldn't decide whether I wanted her to be Rosaline, because of the fact that, like, Stephanie Meyer basically made Rosalie after that, or to have her be Juliet's nurse. But I think either one would be a good choice, honestly.
Yeah. And also, Rosaline gets, like, the good part of this novel that she gets to dip immediately after and doesn't have to deal with any of that nonsense.
I agree. Okay, Cody, I have not given you any choices for our fan fiction this week.
Great. Because I don't feel like making choices right now.
Oh, well, okay.
It's almost 2 a.m. I'm tired.
I'm proud of you, and thank you for staying awake to do this.
My undying patronage for this podcast.
The real MVP. So, as a little story for everybody, but also particularly a good night story for you, this week's podcast fan fiction is called The Cullens Are Going Theme Park.
Please go on.
It is written by XX Goldeneyed XX. And the description is, the Cullens are going to a theme park with a creepy kid that won't stop following them to crazy water rides with cannons. What could go wrong? So this is from chapter 2. There's many.
Yeah, what? How long could you stretch this out? Whatever, go ahead.
There's currently 4 chapters. It was updated 13 hours ago, so it's still going.
Still on a roll.
Okay. So this is from chapter 2. Hello, can I please have 6 teenage tickets and 2 adults? Carla asked the booth employee. Of course, here you are, she said, whilst unattractively batting her fake eyelashes at him. Edward stiffened by my side, I'm guessing a result of the girl's thoughts. Although I was human, I could still hear the growl that emitted from Esme's chest. Oh my god. Babe. Okay. Carlisle took the tickets quickly and walked through the metal barrier and into the park. We all followed his lead. Look, Mommy, look at all those people. Why are they huddling like that? Is it a charity group thing? I turned to see a young boy jumping up and down whilst pointing at us. His mother was tugging him away, shooting apologetic glances our way every few seconds. All right, everyone. Esme and I are going to explore the park on our own. Go on any rides you like, as long as Bella doesn't get hurt and our secret isn't exposed to the world. Have fun! Carlisle said to us before walking away, hand in hand with Esme. We were here. I wonder what ride we were going to go on first. As if reading my mind, Alice pulled out some sticks, explaining that there was a short one, and whoever got it chose the ride. Well, here we go! End scene.
I mean...
And one of the quotes from the author is, It's currently 1 a.m, and they spent all night working on it. Please review, because it'll make them post faster. Love to all their readers.
Well, my only complaint is that you clearly don't understand how false eyelashes work, because you cannot look bad with a pair of falsies on. It's just science.
Honestly, that is me, always. And I agree with it wholeheartedly.
That's what I'm saying.
This was not sponsored by Ardell.
As we say it, folks.
Get bit, motherfuckers, and I'm biting my thumb at you.